Stop that. Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but mans keep walking. Yeah, just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I know everybody's excited. Football's back. Oh. Patrick Mahomes is still amazing. All the warm and fuzzies, but I have a complaint. Enough with the rule changes. Enough with the rule changes.
Which ones?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them. Take me back to football. I'm not even going to say 10 years ago. Give me back 5 years ago. Whatever we played with then, stick with that.
Do you mean the rule changes or the rule re-emphases or both?
All of it.
Well, there is a rule change on the kickoff, which I loved when they borrowed it from the XFL, and it was way better from the XFL. I'm not exactly sure if the kickers are kicking from a closer spot, but they want to incentivize more returns, and we're not exactly getting that. Roy and I were going back and forth a little bit in the morning in that the pre-snap penalties for the Baltimore Ravens, this was a point of emphasis, and it really ruined the game flow.
Yeah, all the penalties came up when the tackles were standing as opposed to when they had their hand in the dirt. So it's like enforcement on net. What, is the center belt buckle the line that they have to?
Dude, here, all right.
What's going on here?
It's been 2.5 years of this with Jawan Taylor. Everyone watching at home sees this Chiefs tackle get off the line before the snap. Every single person sees this at home. I'm not crazy. He is getting an early jump, and he needs that early jump because not good. He's not a good football player. Not a good football player.
Why'd you turn Italian there?
Not a good football player.
Why'd you turn into the guy on the pizza box?
He's getting 0.3 of a second. He's getting 0.3 of a second jump on all these pass rushers. We see it every game. At what point? The NFL is like, okay, point of emphasis, illegal shifts before the snap. Cool. What about the guy that is constantly cheating every snap?
What if it's just you?
It's not.
What if he's just got such an immaculate jump off the line every single time where he's like, he gets there before everybody else, and you're just seeing it a little different.
Well, but everybody in my house was seeing it different. My wife is like, is that guy getting off the line early? I'm like, yes. Yes.
They're going to name the rule after him.
He's like the most triggering Taylor on a Chiefs broadcast, which is saying something.
A tackle on a pass play is one of the funniest things in sports. If we just like made everyone else on the field disappear, just
Footwork.
like the way they're standing like awkwardly, and then they're like it's just such a ridiculous that is what they do. Like their main job is just to like
Oh, dude,
it's just so awkward.
How bummed was everybody when that game got delayed till 8:40?
Dude,
I was fighting.
Has it always been like that?
No. There was lightning.
8:20 is usual start.
Yeah, there was lightning in the area, so they delayed the kickoff, and my eyes were heavy.
I say this every year, or every year, yeah. Like, I don't know how you guys do this East Coast time watching games. Like, this
West
is
Coast has it
ridiculous. Ridiculous. It was 11:40 and they were still playing, and I'm like,
But I don't want the game starting when I'm like trying to figure out dinner. Like I like the way it is here. That I can get dinner, and then afterwards, like okay, now I'm done with 7:00 hours for dinner, and now I can focus on the
Chris,
game.
if you experience it on the West Coast, you're like, oh, I can get used to this, and it's a valid criticism. Every time that the West Coasters say you guys are doing it wrong, all I can do is nod along and say, yeah, can't change where I'm at. I guess I could move.
I mean, do you eat dinner at 9 p.m.? Like, I want to eat my dinner while I'm watching the first quarter. And yesterday I ate my dinner, and then I had a 2-hour wait until kickoff. It was ridiculous.
Wait, what time did you have dinner?
Like 7.
Oh,
I timed out the
But
DoorDash
that was never
wings.
going to be the first quarter, though.
I timed out the
Yeah, I
DoorDash
know.
wings. And
I wish it was. That's the point.
Well, you know what? I wanted nice hot wings to go with a kickoff, and then I was eating
That's
a
what I'm getting
full
today, baby.
sports bar meal before, like 40 minutes before the game got started. I hated that.
Well, dinner time kind of starts differently when you have children because that's a little bit earlier now.
Yeah.
It starts at like 6.
See, now let me ask you this, Roy, and everybody who has kids. Do you guys do the family dinner thing?
Yes.
Every time?
Yep.
Every time?
I'm telling you, sometimes you just got to be like, yo, kid, your meal is now.
Oh, no. You know what we call it? Sometimes we have a picnic in the living room.
Yeah.
And we sit on the
I have
carpet.
a fancy
Oh,
restaurant
that's
for me.
cute.
Yeah.
Juliet gets to name the fancy restaurant, and I'm usually like hungry at that point if it's on the weekend, and I just need that Italian food to hit right at that moment. Speaking of timing
Chris,
things
describe
out.
picnic night. Do you put out like a little picnic blanket?
Picnic night is usually when we Uber Eats something. So the Uber Eats comes in and we, sit down on the floor. We just break it out and we're just sitting on the floor. It's really nothing outside of that.
Surrounded by Sam Van Gundy pizza
Yeah.
boxes.
Look, sometimes I'm just like, I have multiple kids. I got 3, so it's a lot. Sometimes it's just like, go, get out of here.
3, there's having a family dinner is sometimes like a to-do.
It's absolutely a to-do, man. And it's just like, and you can't get them to shut up. That's the other thing. They won't shut up. Like, just eat. Like, if I'm sitting there and all I hear is yap, 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 yap,
But
yap,
isn't
yap,
the
yap.
family dinner the time to talk and catch
No.
up?
Our family dinner has a lot of range. There are some dinners where it's like, this is just going to be a phone dinner. You can have your tablet. I'm on my phone. My wife's on her phone. We don't even look at each other.
Phone dinner.
And then there are also dinners where I turn into like a guy from the 50s and I'm like, we are going to be humans. You put that tablet away. How was your day?
Well,
What'd you learn today?
Here's the difference, though. Mike, Chris, and I have one child. Amin has multiple.
Yeah.
The multiple children are talking to each other.
Each other.
Our children are talking to us.
They're talking to each other and talking. I struggle. I think about when I was a kid. Was I this damn boring? Because they talk about the dumbest things. It's just references.
You were.
No, I wasn't. I promise you. This
You
is
were
what they
7?
do. This is what they do. This is what they do. Remember when Skibbity, he was Ohio. That's the whole conversation. And then they just repeat it over and over again. Hey, my Skibbity, Ohio.
Mix in a Skibbity toilet at least.
Whatever. I
That's
don't
so
even.
2023.
My daughter called me bruh the other day.
I get some bras sometimes. I'm
It's
like,
faster,
"Nah,
bruh."
I'm your
I'm
dad.
just like, what are you doing?
I think that this is a generational divide in that when we were kids, we were entertained seemingly by the same things that our parents were.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like approaching things from a level point in pop culture because YouTube wasn't a thing. Now kids get like things go viral. All the kids in high school know about the Skibbity thing, right? But adults have no frame of reference for it. Adults used to have frame of reference for things that entertained kids, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh yeah, that's on Channel 39.
Barney, I
got
love you. Got it.
Yeah, we got it. But Skibbity, I'm out on the loop on
When
that.
I was a kid, I lived in the Central Time Zone, and the first quarter was always at dinner time, and it was amazing.
Oh,
and
that's
night,
what's happening. You were engineered
it was
socially
so
to want.
it was amazing. 7:30, sit down, watch the first quarter, and then you'd ease your way into the living room for the second half right after dinner. And said last night I'm eating at like 7. The game starts at 9. By 10:30, like complete crash. I tweeted like maybe a minute of clock was left in the first half. Like I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the second half, and I fell asleep like I think 30 seconds later because I missed the end of the first half and slept until like 12:30, and then I was like, well, I think I missed the whole game.
Dude, isn't that one of the most amazing things when you have a very vivid memory of the clock being like 3 seconds to
It was
go.
like a minute and 10
And then you say,
seconds.
I don't remember halftime. Like, how did I go from like, I'm watching this to I'm completely knocked out in 3 seconds?
You live in Arizona,
Yes.
and sometimes they're like 3 hours back, and sometimes they're 2 hours
yeah.
back. That would really mess me up.
It does and it doesn't. It doesn't mess me up because I don't have to change any clocks in the cars or whatever.
So from when to when is it 2 hours behind?
It's whenever daylight, whatever. I don't even know what daylight savings and daylight regular standard is.
So
It's from like
You're
November to
surprised.
March.
Yes, it's the winter
It's just
time.
an hour, though.
Winter time, we're mountain time. Summertime, we're Pacific
I had to
time.
deal with this when I worked with Golick because half the year he
Yeah.
was 3 hours behind, half the year he was 2 hours behind, and I had to figure out Arizona time, and that I'm not equipped for that.
I tell you, sometimes it comes in handy, sometimes it bites you in the ass. Like, for instance, I have a radio show that I do on Sirius XM NBA radio on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Jason Jackson.
With Jason Jackson, that's right. And, like, during the winter, that show starts at 8 a.m. my local time, which is a decent hour. Right now, up until the clocks change, it's a 7 a.m. start on a Sunday. So it's just like, I'm dragging to get there on time because obviously they want us there early to check in to make sure all the connections are working. So really talking about 6:30 in the morning.
We're so old because like our talking points after the game was like how we were inconvenienced in our sleep.
I'm like, look.
We went into time zones, pre-snap penalties. I thought we were on the right track. There were a lot of things to talk about that game, but then we took a hard left into Old Town.
Okay, well, I will swing the wheel right back into football and say Travis Kelce's new hair, dumb.
Dumb?
He's doing this thing that celebrities do. I'm gonna push the limits here, where I'm so cool that I can do something like this and it'll still be cool.
Can we talk about Mike getting dragged by the Chiefs groundskeeper?
Yeah.
Because he tweeted that Travis Kelce had a dye job just like the Chiefs field, and apparently the Chiefs groundskeeper did not like that.
Really?
Yeah, groundskeeper. And I have to walk it back. I got properly dragged by him. Look, I'm not going to pretend. I'm a know-it-all.
What did he say?
He denied the accusation. For anybody that was watching, I'm sure you all noticed, man, this turf at Arrowhead is never this green. And usually when a turf is that green, like Tampa Bay, they often paint their turf. And look, Kansas City often painted their turf too. You can usually tell by how much green is on the jerseys. It's an abnormal thing. So I put circumstantial evidence together. I saw a really bright green turf that I'd never seen before, and I saw early in the game a lot of neon green grass stains. And right then and there, I made the accusation that they dyed their field. By the way, Travis Kelce, that one's a lock. Definitely dyeing the mustache and hair. It's just much darker now. But as I tweeted it, I was like, man, I went for the joke. Maybe you should have had a couple more series sample. And it became pretty evident that this was like not a dye job, and this was just a spectacular job because Arrowhead's hosting Kansas football games this year, and it's been a
Copa. They had the Copa.
Dude, it's been a really difficult grounds to keep, and the groundskeeper like worked me on social media, and I just couldn't say anything.
You keep saying he worked you. What did he say? He said, "Hey, a dye job like your mustache." What did he say?
He was like,
"All right, Ryan Day."
It's always a great compliment when people think it's dyed. And it was. Then I knew. I'm not going to go at the groundskeeper and say, "Oh, you're lying." I'm not going to do that.
You should have done that.
I mean, that's so internet. But no, I was wrong about that. So I have to walk that back. And publicly, I have to walk back because there's this Twitter account that's called DLS Corrections that its whole existence is to point out when we screw up and get things wrong, which is often, which is kind of like this show.
No, when we do that, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what
it's a bit.
Understand.
So we had finally, I got a good NASCAR segment when it came to Tyler Reddick. But this account really wanted to hold on to the fact that Tyler Reddick, after the race, denied that he had shit and puked, which is, okay, cool. We played the sound. I mean, it was pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious that dude shit himself,
And
man.
also, there are beat writers that are covering this that have access to those radio comms, and they made it pretty evident that
he shat himself.
That this was happening. But afterwards, Tyler Reddick denied the claims. And there's a good amount of evidence that suggests that maybe we misinterpreted it, maybe Tyler Reddick didn't shit his pants. But my whole thing is, let the legend live. We all had fun.
No, I did hear he only sharted.
Well, and Mike, the other thing is also like, what I'm hearing is that we don't have any confirmation that he didn't shit himself.
He's denying it.
He's denying
like,
it.
I fought it the entire race.
Like, if you shat yourself right now, would you be on air talking about, yeah, guys, I just shat myself. Yeah, it's happened. You'd be like,
power through, though. He'd power through.
You're opening the door to, like, I think, appropriate scrutiny, which is Tyler Reddick has everything in the world to gain by saying he didn't shit himself. But I would argue you had one of the more heroic sports performances of all time. Lean in. Be the guy that shit himself and puked himself and still won a regular season championship. Be that guy.
Does it diminish it now, though, Mike? If he didn't?
It makes it a little less fun for me. Now, granted, the guy spent 3.5 hours behind a wheel fighting off shitting and puking.
That might be more impressive than shitting yourself,
because he didn't get the relief. Yeah. Like, we could
hold it?
No, there's nothing that makes you drive faster than when you gotta go.
But you already went, though.
But
you already went, though.
No, but we're saying that if he didn't go.
But
at that point, you can't hold that. Whatever's coming out there, you don't hold.
No,
it comes out.
You can.
He couldn't.
Well, he claims he did, and now you're setting yourself up for this X account to come at you.
Sometimes you will sit on the toilet and you're like, I've had a lot of feelings, and there's got to be a lot in this toilet, and you stand up and it's just like one little like piece of a poop.
Fight through.
Yeah.
You guys ever had that?
The little nugget, you're constipated.
Right. That's I know that, but I'm just saying. But sometimes you don't realize. You'll have the feeling of like, oh, I've done some work here, and then you stand up and it's like one little pebble.
Let me
That's
get us
probably what happened to Tyler.
back on track for a second.
The hair.
I don't know if the Chiefs groundskeeper was referring to Travis Kelce's dye job or the grass's dye job, but what he responded to Mike was, "Thank you for the compliment. Nothing better than people thinking it's dyed."
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. We don't know if he's actually talking about the field.
But then there was a subsequent follow-up where he said, "We try to never dye at all," which
again,
try to never die doesn't mean
we
never die. And then he said, only thing dyed the last few years is one pass down the hashes for an AFC championship game in January. We try to grow grass here every week all season. Pre-germ, time seedings, grow tarps, grow
I don't
lights,
care about that stuff.
and field heat are all used to keep it natural every week. Again, could be about the hair.
No, obviously it's between the hashes. Once you get into like week 12, I mean, the offensive lines just turn that field up. You got to dye that field.
Oh, yeah, come wintertime, January, which is what he said, which is why I was like, this is a place that often dyes their field, paints it green. Tampa, Chicago, keep an eye out on that one. These are places that it's historically difficult to keep the grounds.
Do you think George Toma would have the answer?
Well, that's also what I was doing is like, I don't even want to respond to this guy because I'm a Toma guy.
I mean, we're all Toma guys over here. I think we should get George Toma on the phone, try and figure out, hey, you watched that game last night. You think that's a dye job?
We can't ignore the elephant in the room, though, is that turf looked mighty nice. Arrowhead has never looked better on my television.
I don't see anything wrong with ignoring the elephant in the room, Mike.
Better than FedEx Field.
Let's talk about Lamar Jackson and that final play and Isaiah Likely not only becoming tight end 1 for the Ravens while Andrews is on the field, but arguably becoming tight end 1 for the league in one game. A star-making performance that would have been solidified even more were not for that much of a toe. But let's talk about what happened before that, which is Lamar Jackson, an athlete that we've never seen at that position. People have their thoughts and opinions about him. He has Zay Flowers open, and he only has Zay Flowers open because of the chaos that he creates in that backfield. Chris Jones was unbelievable yesterday.
The offensive line was bad.
Dude, yeah, but all right, so Baltimore is a really tough offensive line to evaluate, at least for me, because Lamar Jackson is such a great runner that part of what he does is he holds the ball and he tries to draw in the pass rushers so he can then take off. And that puts the offensive line in a difficult spot because they almost have to kind of be bad for Lamar to be great. And Lamar is kind of almost making them look extra bad because he's setting the defense up. But in that play that I'm referring to, the likely toe we should throw up there because that's how close we were to not covering last night, Chris. Oh boy!
Oh my God!
When John Harbaugh threw up the 2, I was
dude. That felt like I don't want to do the whole scripted thing, but the way they cut, it's like. The play happens, touchdown signaled. They just cut real quickly to him going for 2. I shit myself, and then they show it was just like they could not have written that ending better.
Right? That or Kevin Durant's toe. What do you think was a smaller margin of error?
This one.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant was like clearly on the line.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't clear.
This one I had to like squint.
Zoom and enhance. The zoom and enhance. I felt like I was in a 90s action movie. Enhance. Taylor's saying before the show, we shouldn't be able to enhance. Like, what are we doing with replay if we can't enhance?
He says replay's too good.
It is too good.
That it should be blurry.
Dude,
it's perfect.
20 years ago, that's a touchdown.
And it shouldn't have been.
No, but this is what was happening. They're robbing us of the fun of those moments. Like, oh my God, he did it. What an amazing play to come back and win the game.
I mean, it's plenty fun. It's plenty fun when likely you find out that his toe is just out because that's also going to that made live more. That toe being over made live more and resonate than him actually catching that touchdown.
Like when Max Strus was out of bounds, but not out of bounds. Everyone remembers that.
That
right?
was hovering though. That was different.
No,
that one was very
I
tricky.
honestly don't remember that. To Taylor's point, I will say this. If we're not going to go all the way with technology for downs and for ball placement and all these things, we're not going to put chips on everyone and in the ball to do yardage, everything, then we can't have these replays that zoom all the way in so we can see like a sliver of a toe over a line.
Blade of grass.
It's either what the refs can see in real time or we go all in on technology. We're right in this in between where it must be impossible to be a referee because if you're able to stop, freeze frame, zoom in on something, how is he going to see that in the field? And then it just kills the momentum of a drive. And I don't know. I'm with Amin. It makes it a little bit less fun.
I don't want to watch auditors.
For a flag.
I don't like watching IRS audits. I like watching people make money.
Guys,
right?
last night was plenty fun for me. If you had the Chiefs, really fun.
I know. I'm complaining about something that I slept through. So.
We got the Durant toe, by the way, right here on the screen. That's how grainy it is. We really can't tell
We've come a long way because
Yes.
this is way more grainy than last night.
I will say
Yeah.
soccer has a real issue on its hands because it's made the game a lot less fun to watch for me, and I'm watching less of it because of VAR. I can't be emotionally invested in build-ups unless it's obvious to the eye because I'm always looking out.
Mike, it's the dumbest thing ever. The whole point of the offside rule in soccer is that you don't have people cherry picking.
Yeah.
Now we're getting people called offside because his elbow was broke the plane. Like that's not
Like a shirt sleeve.
That's
I agree
not
in
the
soccer.
spirit. That's not
No,
the spirit of the
I'm
rule.
with Mike. I'm with Mike. During the Olympics, there was I think it was Mel Swanson's goal to put them ahead. I didn't even celebrate. I was like, oh, that's coming back.
Yeah,
that's coming back.
And
then it counted, and I was like,
I don't
cool.
know how soccer players do it.
I
Because
don't.
they score and then they do the full celebration and then like 5 times out of 10 it's like it's coming back.
What-
Chris lost a bet, and they had to bring the guys back out on the field
was
2
absurd.
hours later.
Insane.
That was absurd. What
I
Amin
never
is-
bet in game on soccer, and I did that one time.
What Amin is saying is absolutely right in terms of spirit of the rule. There has to be a general margin of error that you adhere to when it comes to the offside rule. You should be allowed to have a shirt sleeve offside. But back to the Lamar Jackson play where he misses an open Zay Flowers in the end zone. It's kind of hard to criticize Lamar because he did everything to create the open receiver. But Tony, that was a really bad miss.
He missed Rashad Bateman, who was also open running a different route in the area. So when Zay Flowers looks back, he sees Rashad Bateman running in front of him like, oh, that must be to him. And he's hauling ass going this way, and the ball's going behind him. He literally threw it between both of them, wide open.
Keep an eye on...
It's a bad angle for us seeing it from the pocket where he was looking at because we don't have that spider cam view, at least from what they played on the replay. But it was like an egregious miss.
Keep an eye on the Bateman thing because he was plenty frustrated.
Multiple misses with Bateman last
Yeah,
night.
well, he was plenty frustrated.
Biggest one he
because
caught, though.
There was a point in that game. I looked at my cousin-in-law. I'm like, is every play to Zay Flowers? Is it every play to this guy? And also, it's not the most efficient play. At one point, like he's touching the ball 30 times, and they got like 28 yards to show for it. What are we doing?
Hold on. I want to stop you somewhere. You said you looked at your cousin-in-law. I don't think in-laws extend past like daughter, brother,
That's just your
son.
wife's
call him,
cousin.
Well, I
Yeah,
call him.
that's your wife's cousin.
I usually call him cousin. So,
Yeah,
all
or
right.
that. But
He
your
calls
cousin,
you,
Like, this is
he
the
calls
bear.
you chef. Yeah.
So I guess he was under
Call
the
me.
impression this game might have been on ABC or something like that. He's a DirecTV customer, so and he had already missed out on a game. So they came over to the house. I was like, "Why don't you guys say we'll have dinner?" And then by the fourth quarter, I was really regretting that because my eyes were like really falling asleep. I would have missed that game entirely. I'm glad I fought it off because it was a great finish. It was kind of an odd game. I don't really know if anybody played well except for Isaiah Likely.
Rasheed Rice played really well.
Yeah, well, that was always open. Like, at what point? I know they have a different defensive coordinator. At what point does Baltimore stop putting a linebacker on Rasheed
On a
Rice?
really fast wide receiver. Yeah, tough.
in the slot.
on the
Like they
fast-
didn't have an answer for that. Xavier Worthy, by the way, got to be great for them. They just keep drafting the fastest guys on the planet. What's happening over
They keep
there?
hitting, but then missing on guys too. Like McCole Hardman was supposed to be that next guy where he's like blazing speed, he's super fast, and he's not that good. But Xavier Worthy, I don't know if he's going to be an every down like this guy's going to be a Rasheed Rice type, but he has those busts like huge plays where it's like, okay,
The Bills traded that pick. Like Xavier Worthy could have been a Bill, but they traded the pick and they took Keon Coleman. So now the pressure is on Keon Coleman. Heavy-footed Keon Coleman.
why you call him heavy-footed?
He just looks
man?
he's a
he
bit
is.
cement-footed.
Come on, guys.
He's a possession
He
guy.
hasn't
Tony,
even
who'd
played
you
a
call
game
him
yet.
earlier?
Kelvin
Benjamin.
Oh, what an insult that is.
I
What
mean,
do you
Mike?
call a
Mike?
week one overreaction before the games start? Because that's what it feels like we're doing right now.
I just heard everything
I'm all
from
for
camp,
this
he's
on
not that good.
Monday. I'm all for this on Monday, but you guys, they haven't even. We've watched one NFL game
And
so
the
far this
reports
season.
the reports on him have been good.
It's kind of all over the place with Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman in college, I thought he was a good player. He had a really good quarterback, but if you look at every time that they targeted him, it wasn't the most efficient thing. It was like
does
kind
that
of like
remind you
Zay
of?
Flowers, like, why are we force feeding this person if they're only going to come down with the ball like 50% of the time?
I will say on that third down where he hunched behind the line and then all of a sudden everybody was like, where did he go? And then he just kind of pops out. It was a great open field tackle by the safety or whoever was covering him, but it was a great play.
You know, I really wish we had Stugotz here because I want to ask him. He said that last night was a must-win game for the Ravens, and they lost. So what does this mean now for Baltimore?
Season's over.
You know, it occurred to me as I asked, where's Stugotz? We should have asked him about last night. Did he even stay for the game?
I'm not exactly sure. And it was a really difficult ticket to get.
I heard Billy, I was watching their pregame show, which was fun, and they mentioned that they got, like, I don't know if it was tickets or a media credential. They all had access, and the debate was whether Stugotz was actually going to show up. But I saw his classic awkward selfie
Blurry
thing
selfie.
from inside the stadium.
You got
So
the posture down.
he was at least, like, where it's just, like, so awkward. He's definitely using two hands.
Two hands to steady the cam.
I got the picture up on the screen right now.
Keep an eye on Stugotz's social media usage, by the way.
Yeah, what's going on there? He's way
Yes,
more active.
more active.
Very interesting.
Is it a
Instagram.
contract
I'm not
here?
going to
What's
say
happening?
what I know, but I know that someone has been helping him running his account. And
Is
they're
Taylor.
Oh, it's
Taylor.
Oh, it's obvious that
Damn
someone's
it,
helping
Taylor.
him because he's getting, like, clips out from the show on there. And
Come
I'm
on.
just like, either Stugotz's daughter.
Are they of college football 25 or?
He's denied the claims.
I don't believe it.
there's no claim. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying like, he's been very active
Maybe
on
Mikey
social
A.
media.
Mikey
Someone's
A's-
doing
And whoever's doing it, they've captured his voice very well. And it was almost like
He's gone, like-
should you be posting this on social? Should we expose the more of the world to
Yeah.
Stugotz's takes?
He's putting show clips out. He's doing like his takes on Twitter, and he's getting good engagement with them. Like I know I did a scroll yesterday,
Something's
and I was
happening.
just like,
Something's
wow,
happening.
a lot of tweets the
But
last few weeks.
If we could throw that picture up again, that is certainly not the press box. So they got tickets to the game.
They got tickets to the game, and it was a very difficult ticket to get. And my heart was warmed by seeing Billy and clips of Billy recording content out there. You could see the joy on Billy's face, and I texted him on the side. I'm like, how awesome is that place? Because I've been to Kansas City for a week one affair, and it is a very special place. He was having the time of his life. A lot of people with a ticket that were lucky enough to get a ticket were having the time of their life. And if you want to be lucky enough to have a ticket to a sold-out event like last night surely was, you only have so many options. Well, let me tell you the best option on the secondary market. I'm talking, of course, about the Game Time app. For all of football season, this needs to be the first app that you open up if you're interested in seeing a big game in your market or abroad. Create an account and use the code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Chris, what time is it?
Game time.
There's another big game tonight. Awkward. I don't like the Friday night thing. I'm gonna
Like NFL, enough.
enough.
What are you
Enough.
guys doing?
I don't like
Enough.
I don't like
Friday
the Friday
night is
thing.
for high school football
Guys,
only.
It's the first week of the
Who
season.
are you gonna go watch? Columbus and Booker T.
Who's
You're gonna watch
Aquinas
Central.
playing tonight? I'm going to watch that.
You're gonna drive to St. Thomas.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
I'm sure Bishop Gorman's on ESPNU, IMG Academy.
Are you anti-high school football?
No, I
having
love high
its
school
own night?
football.
Look,
I love high school football,
look,
but
guys,
Sounds
folks,
like you're anti-high school
folks,
football.
I'm
Can I
an
stop
NFL
all
guy.
of you? I know
Go
we're-
Noland.
I know we're in the take business, and we gotta like, oh, Friday, I'm gonna rip it. Like, you're all gonna be fine. Okay, it's 1 week.
It's
we have
NFL.
NFL football. Okay, everyone's just like, I can't believe it.
No, college football's infringing on Friday nights too now.
Hold on, Chris. Don't be a simpleton. This is how they started Thursday Night Football. It used to be, it's just week one. It's just week one.
And I love
then
that.
all of a sudden, we start getting a bunch of shitty games on Thursday nights.
Last
And
night
that-
was shitty.
No, not.
I was touching my nipples the
I'm
entire
not
fourth
talking
quarter
about
last
week
night.
one. Yeah, don't
Week
lose
one
the plot.
is always they're trying to get you.
They're trying to get you.
But when you got Jags Titans color clash,
you got Dolphins
color
Bills
rush
on Thursday
jerseys.
Night Football in a couple weeks.
Yeah, occasionally it's good.
Occasionally
but
they got a good one. Most of them, I think we can all agree, most of the slate is bad on Thursday nights. And on top of it, even when the matchup is good, the play is terrible because they've had 4 freaking days of rest. So don't tell me, this is a one-off thing, you'll be fine. Because I know in 3 years, the greedy-ass NFL, they're going to do it to us again. They're going to be like, guess what? We got Friday Night Football now.
Good.
I don't
No!
want Friday Night
I
Football.
don't want it.
It's one thing to take over a Thursday. It's one thing to take over a Monday. But I already devote plenty of my weekend to football. Friday's my one weekend night to take care of the family stuff.
Dog, I got a life,
I'm
man.
with Mike on that. If they're like, my wife would kill me if there was NFL football every
I
Friday.
don't think the NFL's allowed to do Friday night game. There's going to have to be like
Allowed?
legislation because they're not supposed to have Friday night games in September through like
I took
Why
a
not?
December. I
What
wanna
Jess is
say?
saying is right. There
Sports
used to be
Broadcasting Act or something like that.
I took a sports administration class where like the antitrust laws protected the college football window from the NFL, and now we're going to have college football playoff games in NFL windows. So I think all of that stuff is starting to fall by the wayside.
But is Friday a college football night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
there's
is?
SMU BYU tonight.
Oh, bastards, man.
Yeah, but that's
But
all
I
right.
also don't love college football on Friday.
you can
College
skip
football's
that.
for
Nothing.
Saturday.
No,
and
Friday.
Max's for Tuesday.
Yo, Friday is Friday.
But-
Friday's let me be human once a
Yes.
week.
So I have to let's take tonight for example. It's a great sports night. You have Foe versus Fritz in the U.S. Open. That's prime time.
Mm-hmm.
You have two Americans fighting for an appearance in the final. That's going to be really dramatic. You have Eagles-Packers, which is, if we're going to send a game to Rio and do this Friday thing, why are we sending a banger of a game over there? Also, I don't know if you've seen the reports, but people are worried about the colors that they're wearing in this place. They're worried they can't leave their hotels. For that, just keep the game in Philadelphia.
Dude, among other things also, we got Lynx Fever tonight. We got Ace's Sun tonight. And we've got
Those are really good games.
great games.
Man.
Great games. Give us some
We've been
breathing
giving
room.
London crap games for a decade. And we're giving, what? I'm
Real.
with you, Mike.
It's a big night
this
for
game
NFL.
should be Sunday. This should be a 4:25 kickoff.
It's a big night for NFL Threads, though. This is your moment, Threads. If NFL Threads is ever going to be a thing, tonight is the night because X is banned in Brazil, which makes it difficult for a lot of these beat writers to do their job during the game. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But I'm faced with all these difficult decisions. But I also, since it is a weekend, I got to also manage my personal life. And so the decision that I made was I'm going to watch Beetlejuice tonight.
Ah.
Tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go tonight because I can't go tomorrow. You got the Canes playing at 6 o'clock. And I love college. It's a great, tremendous college football slate tomorrow. That's my football day. Friday can't be my football day. It's not even the football game that's entering the equation because Beetlejuice all day, especially with the good reviews of it. I'm really bummed about the U.S. Open, and hopefully, I imagine that game's still going to be going. That match is still going to be going, so I'll be able to catch the tail end of that because that's what I'm more into tonight. But this game, I don't understand it. I don't know why we're doing it in Brazil. I know why they're generally doing these remote games, but out the box, a Friday, week one, a banger of a game, everyone seems to be miserable that they're doing this thing. I just don't get it. I need a weekend night that is not dedicated to football. You're putting me and my family in a very difficult
Next Friday
position.
you'll get it. No biggie. Next Friday you'll get it.
Yeah, but Beetlejuice, like these movies stay in the theaters now for like 3 weeks.
And then they're out, dude. You got to
Yeah.
get it. You got to get it when it's hot.
I got to go right now for date night. Yeah,
Well-
I got to get a sitter. Like this is when you have a kid, things are difficult, and I can't have the NFL, which I love, and I really want to watch this game. I can't have that get in the way. Like it's too much. You guys have won. You're running up the score right now. It's like Urban Meyer's the commish.
Dude,
What are we doing?
The whole beauty of it was like one day a week. I'm dedicated to this. And then it's like, and Monday. All right, Monday night. All right, one day a week and Monday nights. And
What
then
am I
it was
doing?
like,
I'm happy for it on Monday.
and then they're like, hey, and also Thursdays. Okay, one day a week and Monday night and also Thursday nights.
I'm good with one more.
No.
Give me Friday and then
you
I'm
guys, Duke versus Northwestern is tonight. Do you know how many consultants are going to miss the NFL game because they're watching Duke at Northwestern?
Did you see the Northwestern Stadium this year? Their
Yes,
temporary
and
venue?
I have a take about this. First of all, it's gorgeous. It's on Lake Michigan, and it looked beautiful. But it is going to be so cold and windy there in like 2 weeks.
Catfish? Can you say catfish? The practice facility that they built is brand new. It's also on the water. And
I played soccer there before.
they got
freezing.
the drone shots and everything like, oh, that's so awesome. It's going to be so cool, whatever. I thought of just some dumb kid somewhere like in California being like, oh, they got cool beaches too over there. And then he's going to go. And like within a month of the start of school, you'd be like, this.
I'm telling you right now, it is already in the 60s this weekend in the Midwest. It went from like 95 degrees last week to now it's pretty chilly again. In the first week of October, there's always a frost. It is going to be so cold on the lake, but it does look beautiful. I will give them that.
Yeah, they did this just for everything that they could get that last weekend of August for their propaganda
All
and
their
recruiting
content.
tools.
The content team went crazy.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that thing on the lake, I'm like, that is going to be arguably the worst place to ever play a sport. Ever exist. Come wintertime, I can't imagine being there, sitting in the upper deck, watching Northwestern. I had a good year last year, especially when you consider the expectations. But that's got to be a miserable place come a couple weeks from now.
I just like there has to be laws and regulations against this, right? You can't just build a stadium wherever you want, right? In a wind tunnel, like that can't be like just go ahead and knock yourself out.
If you go to a baseball game here in this market, you kind of come away with a take that, I guess I can just put this wherever they want and not make any sense whatsoever. But I'm going to see Beetlejuice tonight. I'm really encouraged by the reviews. I'm happy. Everything that I've seen from Tim Burton and in the press is really encouraging. Michael Keaton's in the film for the exact same amount of time that he was in the first one.
Wow.
Which, if you remember, wasn't very long. He was
No.
only in his screen time, I think, was like 17 minutes.
Yes.
Why was he not in it for very long? I don't understand. Isn't he Beetlejuice?
Yes, but the whole point is like you have to summon him. So like he can't just be around all the time. He needs to be gone in order to be summoned. But Mike, I'm glad that you want to talk about Beetlejuice because I want to talk about something specific, and that's Tim Burton casting his love interest in movies.
Always.
Enough, dude. Enough. We get it. You're dating Monica Bellucci. We get it.
This
You were
one's a hell of
married-
a win for him, though.
Sure.
This one's he pulled out a big dub.
No, look, her, Helena Bonham Carter, beautiful and also a great actress as well. But like, yo, dude, like,
Yeah, and Ed Wood, he started doing it too, and Mars Attacks, and
Wait, they got divorced? Helena Bonham Carter? I didn't know.
Yeah, he's
So
with
now he's
Monica.
dating Monica Bellucci, and guess what she's doing now? Hasn't been in a movie in like 100 years. All of a sudden, let's put her in Beetlejuice.
Is she the Beetlejuice's ex-fiance? I think so, because in the trailer she's missing a finger, and if you watch the first Beetlejuice, there's a point where he's like getting married to Winona Ryder, and he's like, he pulls out the ring, and he's like, oh, she meant nothing to me, nothing at all.
Oh, that's a pretty good Beetlejuice.
It was in that moment. Don't ask me to recreate it. But everything that I've read about it is encouraging. Like, for example, Tim Burton was asked, hey, why isn't Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin in this movie? And he's like, because I was telling a story, and it didn't make sense for them to be in this story.
I thought he was because Alec Baldwin shot somebody.
Yeah, well, that could be part of the reasons, too.
She's
but
been in a lot of movies in the last 10 years.
I know she was in one of those Liam Neeson movies. We did it for
Monica Bellucci?
Yes, she was in.
The Passion of the Christ.
She was in Memory. She was in Memory, the movie where Liam Neeson has Alzheimer's. He's a hitman with Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my God, yeah, you gotta watch that.
I
one.
will find you if I can remember where you are.
Yeah, he gets in the car. He forgets why he got in the car in the first place. It's actually a great premise movie.
One of the Matrix movies as well. I think it was Reloaded.
Yeah, but that movie's terrible.
Apparently
Bad
the
Matrix movie.
apparently the story behind this sequel is the story that Tim Burton wants to tell is a story about the generations of parenting, the relationship between a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, and through the framework of this, gothic whimsy Tim Burton universe, which I'm really excited about. When I first saw that this sequel is being made, and the original came out in 1988. I was excited just because of the nostalgia aspects, but I'm like, okay, this is a cash grab, and I'm first in line. I'll be there, but I really hope that you do it for the right reasons. And it seems as though they're telling a good story, and they really worked on this, and the careful amount of thought. Tim Burton apparently almost retired after Dumbo, which I kind of like. My daughter loves that movie.
He did the live action Dumbo?
Yeah, my daughter really liked that movie. I didn't mind it, but it apparently almost made him quit his entire career.
Bastard.
I love Tim Burton movies. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, but he kind of got worse the more CGI got involved in movies because it gave this really blurry hue to all his films, and all Tim Burton's films, the practical sets, especially in Beetlejuice and the Batman movies, they really suck out. Practical set design is what I like so much about Alien Romulus.
He did Frankenweenie?
That's a good movie.
Speaking
That's
of Tim
really sad.
Burton, it's almost Nightmare Before Christmas time. I went to Publix the other day. There's pumpkins. Everywhere. There's pumpkins everywhere.
No, guys.
Travis Kelce last night looked like he was dipped inside a pumpkin spice latte with his little outfit on.
This acceleration of the seasons has to end. We cannot allow corporate America to just usher us straight out of summertime into Halloween. We got a whole 2 damn months before that happens.
In August.
Jeremy is drinking a
I'm drinking a
PSL
pumpkin
right
spice
now.
latte as we speak.
Basic broad.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Come
one
on,
of the
what'd you
most
expect?
overused takes in all of takery these days is slow down with the holidays.
No.
Relax, Thanksgiving, or relax. I just got to we're not even to Halloween yet, and I'm already. It's like
Why
I
are you
don't-
doing the robot with
Yeah,
it?
what's going on here?
I
Robot.
don't
I
want-
like that limited
I mean,
faith.
you are usually such a free, such a
am.
unique thinker. Don't do this take.
I
This
want to
take
live
is-
in the moment,
Unique
Chris.
thinker. I like
The
that.
tread is so worn on this
You
take.
would. You would.
The
I mean,
tread
he's a
on this
unique
take
thinker,
is
though.
just worn.
Chris
This path
is Team Pumpkin.
I'm not even
No,
even pro.
you
it's
are.
just,
Just say it.
Hey,
I'm so tired
Hey,
of that
there's
take.
a Chris.
Slow down, holidays.
hey, Chris.
He's got a pumpkin
You
sticker
got a
on his
pumpkin
Starbucks
drink.
too.
That lady did that. For, I didn't ask for that.
Hey, Chris.
There's no pumpkin in there.
Chris. Happy New Year.
No.
Oh, this guy. Yeah, see, that's another
No.
I do.
Right, Izzy.
I do feel some kind of way about skipping Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I like Thanksgiving. I like the communal aspect. I like the food, and I just hate that we just skip right past
But
it.
if my neighbor wants to put up a Christmas tree in October, let her.
No.
It's just like, who cares? Like, why do we have to get on here and be
I
like,
don't know.
I make the
And
rules
the
for when
Christmas
the
lights.
holidays
No,
can be
don't
celebrated.
get it twisted. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. I care about when I walk into my local supermarket and I got to be inundated.
They're trying to make money. They got to get ahead of this.
No,
You're the
they
pumpkin
don't.
Are you gonna
libertarian.
sell pumpkins for 2 weeks?
They're trying to make money because they themselves made this so commercial. So they're just feeding the machine that we're lamenting because
We gotta
it's too
stand
much.
up. We got to stand up together and take a stand
talking.
against this.
No, I mean, no.
Unique thinker.
Putting up Christmas lights on your house is not the privacy of your own home. Like, that's
I don't
affecting
wa-
my sleep.
I don't. Well, yes, you got to.
What kind of like? I've never
We'll get
been.
you some blackout.
What,
I've never
what
been-
bright
thank you.
ass Christmas lights are at
I'm like
your
in my bed trying to sleep.
neighbor's
It's like,
house?
God damn, tell them to
His
turn the
neighbors with the
Christmas lights off.
Griswolds.
Like, is this really an issue that you're running to?
Yes.
No, that's
Chevy
not.
chases down the street with his stupid ass lights, and Roy's like, "Shut up already!"
Damn it, Anid, the damn lights are on again.
Those damn floodlights, man, all over the house.
Those floodlights are like. Do you guys have people in your neighborhoods with the motion sensor
Yeah.
floodlights?
Oh, I used to have a guy in my neighborhood who did an entire light show to music. Like, you tune
Yes,
into the radio
yeah.
and it would play a song and he would do like a whole thing. And he engineered it to all the things would dance and flash, and it was crazy. People would just sit there on the block and block traffic and
I
just
don't
like
like that.
listen to.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
right.
Exactly.
Mannheim
It was kind of cool.
Steamroller.
I'm not
What
gonna
do they
lie.
do the other 9 months of the year?
They
They leave them
tour.
up and
I have
just
no
don't
idea.
put
No,
it in.
I'm talking about Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, that's a good point.
They set up the tour.
It's a great gig for them.
Get
like-
ready to count some money.
They
Jeez.
can't even tour in Florida anymore.
No? No, is that a joke?
Anymore?
I missed the joke.
That's a great
That's a
joke.
great joke,
Yeah, that's a
man.
good joke.
Get it?
Damn good
Trans.
joke.
Oh.
So hit the button. Hit the button.
Yeah.
The
You know,
Siberian thing plays down here, though.
I was
That
so
is a good
fixated on orchestra. I was like, what's wrong with orchestras?
Well, they're, I mean,
Orca?
the
Like
arts in
SeaWorld?
general, really. Like, that was, yeah.
The violins.
Great joke.
You know what, man? Where's the?
I hit it already.
No, you hit it already.
No, I gotta hit something else here.
Oh.
Where is it?
Oh, now you find. Okay.
No, I can't even find it.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well,
Go to the next page.
No, it's
stall.
on the next page.
While he
Yeah.
scans for that, I want to talk to you guys about something that popped up in pop culture last night.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Oh, no.
Self asshole?
No, you're not.
Wow.
I fucking old show didn't even get into this page.
Away from the mic, I mean.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I don't. Do you have any takes on Linkin Park?
No.
All right, so we can kick you out for this one. Linkin
I might
Park-
join them.
Linkin Park got back together, and this was something that had been long rumored. There had been videos of the new Linkin Park kind of rehearsing and whatnot. So it's not quite the shock and awe of Oasis, but this is a band that for many in our audience means way more to them than Oasis ever did. And so, obviously, tragically, they lost Chester. They have to replace Chester, and for many people, that's a bridge too far. I can't. How do you replace Chester? He was so associated with their sound. But me, as someone that wasn't the biggest Linkin Park guy when it was happening, I will totally admit their sound has aged with grace. Now that you frame everything with nostalgia and the fact that Chester is gone, I look back on their time. Hybrid Theory was a classic. They were really of their time, which sometimes it was a bit too much. My criticism when it was happening, as someone that had seen them live, number one, Chester live was a bit of a struggle, but I think he would have aged well too with all the advancements in live auto-tune. I was kind of way too stubborn about manufactured bands. And to this day, I still kind of am. I look at bands like Imagine Dragons and I look down on my nose on them. And
I've done
limited
that
fake
before.
Imagine Dragons. But, the timeline is kind of, you can scrutinize a timeline in the formation of Linkin Park and say, is this band manufactured? And that's something, if you're a hipster or someone that's, really stingy about these things, you could hold against them. But there have been plenty of great bands that have been totally manufactured by record labels. Fun, that band Fun, they were totally just, studio musicians that were getting all the scraps of songs and samples and putting out demos, and then they just realized, let's just put out an album. And that's why they're not even together. They didn't even know each other, really.
Yeah, they were basically considered themselves a supergroup because they were 3 different artists who sort of came together that had been in different bands. And Jack Antonoff was one of those people. He was the main person sort of producing some of that music, playing guitar for them. And then, yeah, they put out 2 albums. They didn't really like each other all that much. And then they split up, and Jack started Bleachers and producing for every pop artist that existed.
Yeah, they didn't like each other because they never really knew each other to begin with. So that was kind of like my thing with Linkin Park. It was kind of like 2 bands kind of put together. Hey, you guys should get this front person, and it worked. And while it was totally trying to capitalize on that new metal thing, they did it damn near better than anybody else. But they've gone away and really struggled with the loss of Chester, as you would, because he was so associated with that band. But I think now that they've come out on the other side and people look back on, man, in the end, they're just like karaoke standards, this band.
Those songs were all hits. I mean, remember when they did the hybrid album with Jay-Z?
Oh,
and
dude.
It was like the biggest thing that existed.
Moment in time. You might have a take on the Jay-Z mashup album. That was a classic.
I
listened to that album last week on my drive up to Gainesville.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more? That's the only link. Like,
Did he do the instrumental well on that?
No.
No.
I thought he was trying to do Trans-Siberian Orchestra at a certain point.
Me and Roy were talking before the show how we don't know anything about Linkin Park. I mean, I know who they are, but my entire experience is in the Black Album mashup.
For a lot of people.
That's all I know about.
Yeah, there were a lot of hip hop heads that the only rock band that they liked was Linkin Park. You know, you have a DJ in the band. They had good beats, and so and they love that album.
But I'm just saying, I don't know anything outside of that album.
Roy, I imagine you like Linkin Park just because you might have heard their songs so much in hockey arenas.
No, I actually don't know who they are. In fact, I asked them.
You did this with Blink-182 though, and I didn't believe you.
No, I've never listened to their music. I hardly pay attention to the music in the arena. But when I asked them outside, hey, didn't Linkin Park do a song with Method Man? He said, no, it was Limp Bizkit. I'm like, well, they all look the same.
Well, they all kind of sounded the same, but I say, for that new metal era, Linkin Park, for that sound, if you like that rap rock thing, Linkin Park did it as popularly as anybody, and even though they were kind of manufactured, they perfected a formula. But now, this isn't exactly Oasis. This isn't even if the Smiths were ever to come back together. These aren't guys.
The Smiths broke up?
Yeah.
Not the Smiths. I love the Smiths. Who are the Smiths?
You don't know the Smiths?
I heard of
Mr. and Mrs.
Never heard.
Dude.
Yeah, that's
if you
the
love
only
the
Smiths
Smiths,
I know.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to fall in love with you. So.
The Smiths.
Which one? I know who the Smiths are, but Amin doesn't know who the Smiths are.
Morrissey and Johnny Marr. The Smiths are an incredible band.
Oh, there it is. You know, when I hear this song, I always think of Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell on the boat in Miami Vice. And
Keeping a mojito in Cuba?
Yeah.
I know where we can find a good mojito. I didn't know there were so many Chinese people in Cuba. Yeah, that movie it was kind of all over the place. Director's cut, though.
And yet it doesn't qualify for Cinephobes somehow, some way.
Because I think the director's cut kind of frames it. Michael Mann is a genius, and he's a mad genius specifically with that movie. The stories surrounding the making of that movie, I think Rolling Stone did a retrospective on it. It makes you like that movie more because it totally missed the mark. Apparently the story behind that movie was Michael Mann just wanted to do this detective movie, this cop movie, and the only way he could get it made was just call it Miami Vice. And I'm coming back to Miami Vice. Yeah.
Because the IP, man, Hollywood,
That was the start of it.
Yeah, that was his baby.
What do you make of all these popcorn buckets that people are gravitating to?
Like the collector's item.
Yeah, there's a popcorn bucket for Beetlejuice, and
they're more expensive, right?
I imagine.
Give me the paper.
Wait, does
Extra butter on the top, layer it for me. On the double.
Beetlejuice one look like,
phallic in nature? This one, I mean, it's a sandworm, so it's not like I don't look at it and be like, I want to hit it.
Now these specialty buckets, how hard is it to cut a hole in the bottom of it?
I don't know,
Hell
but
yeah.
Oldest trick in the book.
I was trying to figure out what the appeal is, and then I figured it out.
Well, the appeal is the hole.
Well,
Gotta make sure the edges are smooth.
yeah, you can
though.
bang it. That's one of the appeals, I guess.
Dangerous game.
But movies in particular, we don't even have ticket stubs anymore. Movie posters are pretty much all digital. We've had essentially 20 years where movie memorabilia has kind of fallen by the wayside. You don't even have fast food tie-ins anymore. So
that's
you
not
you
true.
rarely have fast food
Deadpool
tie-ins.
just had one with
It's rare,
Box.
and I think people want these tangible keepsakes now for these movies because it was something that was kind of lost. Because we're all in our phones and all digital, people want something tangible to remember. It's actually kind of cute.
So wait, Mike, did you ever actually get to your point on Linkin Park?
I
Or
did want to go
happened?
somewhere
There's more
with it,
Linkin Park talk?
but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I saw a crazy.
Wait, Roy, do you understand that joke?
Yeah, I actually do.
Oh,
I
Roy.
actually do know that song.
You're a karaoke guy. You know that song.
Come on, man, that song's great.
It is. Stop doing the bad voice to go there.
Those bands were good, and Linkin Park was as good as any of them. The one complaint that I would have about the way that they've come back together here is I would have loved, because Chester is so hard to replace, as you mentioned, I wish that if they were making a new album, they would have just used a different singer on every song that they did, and then towards some of the old songs, or even used those vocals on hooks like just through playing them live rather than having the artist with them, because just replacing a singer as iconic as Chester with a voice that was so specific is so difficult to do.
Yeah, there was I think a few years ago, Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl played a concert that wasn't as Nirvana, but they honored Nirvana, and they kind of did that. They had different singers come in. I think the person that worked the best was actually Joan Jett, and she kind of replicated Kurt Cobain's voice quite well.
Kurt Cobain's?
Kurt Cobain.
Drinking my cup? Oh, two Americas.
I got that drink in my cup.
Thank you.
Yeah, two Americas, I guess.
Rest in peace for Chomi Kwan, by the way.
I think it's difficult to tour that way. This has been kind of long rumored on the internet that Linkin Park, because of where they were in their careers, they actually have they're going to make more money than they've ever seen before now that they're back. I think it's a little bit more difficult to tour. There was a notion that the dude from Sum 41 was going to join because he and Mike Shinoda,
The guy with the face?
played the guy that was married to Avril Lavigne.
The face.
And his voice kind of sounds like Chester's a little bit. I really hope I'm not botching the name of this band because it came up on a playlist, but I think the front person for Falling in Reverse might have also been a good fit for what Linkin Park did. But I saw the videos, and they're playing shows
great.
in like the next couple of weeks. They're playing Kia, they're playing Brooklyn, they're playing London.
It's going to be electric. People are going to enjoy those shows. It's just I'm just being nitpicky about what I would have liked on an album rather than just replacing a singer. But that's like, you know, maybe asking for too much.
You guys are talking in Cantonese right now.
The video.
All
right, we
idea
move
what
on.
we're
It's
talking
fine.
about.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll
like
move on.
I'm completely lost. You're saying a bunch
There's
of
a segment of
names.
the internet and this show that's really going to – our audience is going to like this.
Are they?
Linkin
Yes.
Park was
You're sure
huge.
about
I mean,
that?
not me and Mike. but.
We'll move on away from Linkin Park.
Chris Novoselic sounds like a hockey player.
Hockey
Novoselic.
player, right?
Yeah.
Move away from
Chris.
Linkin
Center.
Park. What are you, a family in Chicago with 2 kids going out to the suburbs?
That's a
Hey,
heat check.
easy. Yeah, there
That
you
was
go.
a heat
Geography.
check. After
Love
the
it.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra joke. There's just no following that.
I saw a stat last night in this football game that blew my mind.
Yes.
Was it the Harbaugh stat?
Yes.
That he's the second oldest coach in the league?
John Harbaugh. Let's put a picture up of him right now. John Harbaugh is the second oldest coach
Looks great.
in the NFL.
After Belichick is one, I'm
Let's
assuming.
use. I want to play a game right
He's
now.
not active
Stop
anymore.
saying
Bro,
names.
Belichick's
Everyone,
not
everyone
coaching.
right now, stop
Okay.
saying names. I want to play a game, and it's called "Can You Name the 10 Oldest Coaches in the NFL?" We're gonna play this like pitch clock style. Everyone gets 2 strikes. All right,
Okay.
we're gonna, just first time. We're not gonna do 3. Everyone gets 2 strikes. We're gonna start in that room with Mike,
Okay.
and I want Mike
Wow.
to take the first guess.
Ska? This is Ska. First off, when I saw that stat, I was shocked to learn that not only was he the second oldest coach in the league, but he was the oldest Harbaugh. You could have, like, totally...
Jim has so much little brother energy. Are you kidding me?
Is this happy birthday?
I mean,
Yeah, old age.
by Real Big Fish.
Just say a name, because this is not fair, because you get to guess everyone, and there's a very obvious choice
All right,
that
Mike,
you're going to get.
If it's a top 10 oldest coach in the NFL, you do not get a strike.
Okay.
First one with 2 strikes. If you get 2 strikes, you're eliminated. Last one standing wins. Mike,
Okay.
what's your guess?
All right, well, I wasn't prepared for this game, so let me think
no one
for
was.
just a brief moment.
You can't think. You gotta go.
All right. Can I put... I just got to get one of the top 10?
Yes.
The top 10 oldest coaches in the
Yes.
NFL.
But we're excluding the
I mean,
ones
no.
that we know that are
Like, John
top 10?
Harbaugh, you can't guess, so
Yes.
there's only 9 right answers here.
Nine answers.
All right.
Come on. here we go.
Is Jim Harbaugh in the top 10?
Jim Harbaugh is number 5.
Wow.
He is 60.
Wow.
1 year
Fanfare.
younger.
60. Wow, they look good for 60 and 61. John looks great for 61.
Yes.
I'm gonna go. Okay.
That's
we
a
get it.
long,
All right.
right?
I'm gonna go with music, please.
Yeah,
Hit me
you can't
again.
lose some music.
I need. Yeah.
It's only 30 seconds, so I'm doing a lot here.
Pete Carroll.
Doesn't coach in the NFL anymore, so that's a
Doesn't.
wrong
Got
answer. That's a
fired.
strike for me.
By one of the youngest now. Replaced by... There was a very obvious
Where
one.
the hell did he go?
He's just not
Just
coaching.
not
All right, let's go to
doing
Roy.
anything.
Roy, what's your guess?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin is number 10 on this list. 52 years old.
Damn.
So if you're doing your math right, you're looking for 52 or older here.
Okay.
Let's go to Jeremy. By the way, you guys all got confused.
Yeah,
back
laptops
here.
down,
Watch these
everyone.
people behind
Yeah.
me.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is the oldest coach
That's
in the
the
league at
obvious one.
66.
Yeah.
Jess, and we're going to hit this music again. And Jess, what do you got?
Mike McCarthy.
Mike
that's
McCarthy
the
is
one
the
I had on
third
my
oldest
list.
coach in the league.
Good answer. Good
Shit.
answer.
All right, we are
Shit,
to
I'm
Tony.
shitting bricks now.
Only one
Hold
with a
on.
strike is a meme.
Ah, shit.
I'm going to go Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles is the 4th oldest coach in the league.
All right.
We're back
to
with
me.
Mike.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton is the 6th oldest coach in the league.
You guys are going so fast.
We only have 3 more,
Doc?
the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Doc Rivers.
Amin, you are up.
I'm up, huh? So the music is playing. Everyone's kind of guessed their names, and everyone's wondering, Amin, what name are you going to say? And I'm wondering myself what name I'm going to say because I've run out of. Oh, Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera is
Not
on this list, and I don't think he's
Fired.
coaching anymore. Yep, he was fired for
What's
sure.
that? When did everyone get
By
fired?
the way, before we said that, you said Belichick
not Blake's
first.
fault.
Like before we played
Yeah,
the
you
game.
got
So
3 guesses.
You
I
said
got 3.
Belichick, Pete Carroll, and
You're
Ron
playing last
Rivera.
year's version. You got to play this year's version.
You crushed this game last year. All right, over to Roy.
I got nothing for you, brother.
He's just punting.
So that's 2 strikes for
Hold
me,
on, first
one
down.
strike for Roy. I said
One
strike.
strike.
All right, Jeremy.
Thinker.
Unique thinker.
Trying to think of any NFL coaches that exist. Sean McDermott.
One of the youngest coaches in the NFL
Yep.
is not on this list, and that's 1 strike for Jeremy. Good thing I did 2 strikes here because this game is lingering. Tony, go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
I'm going to go.
Jess, sorry, I'm doing a lot.
I'm going to guess because he's got white hair, Matt Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus is number 8 on this list.
Wow. Credit to you for
54
knowing his
years
name.
old.
Damn.
We are
I
missing.
think it's Eberflus.
We
I
are
think I said
missing
it
a
wrong.
56-year-old and a 53-year-old.
Here's one of them right here. You ready?
Yep.
Atlanta's new head coach, Raheem Morris.
That is not on the list. That is a strike for Tony. So, Jess, the only one left without a strike. We are back to Mike.
I don't have a strike.
Oh, Mike doesn't have a strike. Sorry.
No, I don't.
Doing a lot.
Music.
Doing a
Music,
lot.
please. All right, someone said Ron Rivera, and there was an older coach that replaced him. Is it Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn is number 9 on this list. So there's one more answer here. Mike
Oh
doesn't
my
have a strike.
God.
Jess doesn't have a strike. Roy, Tony, and Jeremy all have 1. We go over to Roy.
What?
That means
Yeah,
out.
means-
Oh,
out.
he's out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you-
yes, 2 strikes.
You
I have
punted
3
on the
strikes.
first down.
Who's the coach in Vegas?
I can't help you there, but I don't think that's right.
The coach in Vegas.
No.
All right, strike 2 for Roy. Who is
Thank
the
you.
coach?
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio
That
Pierce.
is not.
Oh,
on the
that's
list.
definitely not.
See, that's the one I knew. I didn't know.
I'm going to hit the music again, and we're back
Yeah.
to Jeremy.
Maybe a longer bet next time.
Yeah.
Maybe not happy birthday.
Is Doug Peterson a head
Jeremy
coach?
wins the game!
Yeah.
Somehow
with 1 strike.
The game is over!
Hey, shut out the pitch
Alright.
clock. Thanks for that.
I transitioned. I went to Dan's house the other day, and when I walked in,
Quinn?
exactly, his dog assaulted me.
You again with the dog.
It's a big dog.
Is he not allowed to have a dog at his house now? I mean, you have rules
No,
about all
it's
this.
it's not about having a dog or not having a dog. It's Dan's reaction. Dan yelled at the dog. We talked about this.
He doesn't like you.
A human conversation.
I was just, it blew my mind that like in Dan's world he could have a conversation with this dog and the dog like, you're right, man. I'll try and be better
Now,
in the future.
was the conversation that they previous had about jumping on people in general, or this was like an Amin conversation of like, hey, I want to talk to you about Amin before he comes
I
over?
don't know. I don't know. But as Jess picks up her dog,
Lovely Willow.
why is there a dog in the studio?
Hey, we thought you weren't going to be in today.
We talked
that's-
about this.
We talked
I
about
was told to bring her in today.
It's a good point. There was an email that went out that said Amin will not be in, and
But then
it said-
also that you were going to be
yeah,
in.
then it said the talent that will be here. Amin. Like, so I get why everyone's confused, but it reminded me.
calling you talent was very confusing.
Oh, goddamn.
Okay, all right, easy.
I mean, that was uncalled for.
easy
Check
there.
for you.
2004 with that goatee.
We're jocular here. I'm trying to date Lana Del Rey. That's what I'm going for right now. That's why I have this look.
Wow, that's good. Let's throw that image up if we can get it, video team.
Of Mike and Lana Del Rey.
Del Rey's
Yeah,
boy.
Lana Del Rey's boyfriend, because that goatee
Oh
is
my
similar.
God.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's not even a goatee. It's like a goatee with the chin strap.
Stugotz?
Has this been confirmed that this is indeed her boyfriend?
Fat
Is it the
lip.
guy in the front or in the back?
The guy in the back.
Dude's got a fat lip in.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Some
Yep,
41.
Look at that.
That's a.
So I don't know, Mike. To answer your question, these photos went viral last week with people saying this is her new boyfriend, and a lot of jokes were made because he does look
I can't
a
s-
lot like Stugotz. But Jeremy tells me this morning, unconfirmed.
But where? But I don't see. Where is he in this picture?
He's standing with John Cena in the back somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems as though this isn't true, that her boyfriend is a gator hunter, which is what that guy's job is. He like takes people on airboats and plays with alligators in Louisiana. But really, wow, that was really good. But really, it was one of the great stories on the internet last week. The idea that Lana Del Rey was dating this middle-aged gator hunter. Unfortunately, that is not the case. His name is Jeremy, though.
I'm
so
happy.
Points for him.
I'm happy that you called out the goatee. You clearly know, as someone that's wearing a hat right now, you know the importance of like getting the facial hair right. So there was a Behind the Bit that aired earlier this week, and I couldn't look at it because I knew what happened that day, which was I screwed up my shaving, and I was clean shaven.
A lot of face.
I was walking outside. I was sweaty, and they did not afford me my makeup artist, the lovely Jessie, who was outside banging on a door softly to not interrupt the shooting, but knowing how vain I am and how badly I needed that. So I knew when I was like recording it, this is about as bad as I'm going to look. And I've seen like the Bobby Boucher's dad's memes out there.
Roboito?
Roboito. And
shit.
yeah.
I haven't seen it though, Mike. Is there a place that I can look at it just to make sure that that's the case, or no?
No, don't ever watch it. It was a great bit. It sounds great. Listen to the bit, but I just knew right then and there. I'm like, I sat down. This is the lighting. I'm this sweaty and I can't have makeup, and I'm clean shaven because I screwed up my shaving job. I am never going to watch this ever. This is going to be a life-changing event for me, because when the images do show up on my timeline, I'm going to want to change everything about myself. So I screwed up shaving again this week, but I didn't want to be clean shaven because I knew the Roboito memes were going to be going on. So I was like, you know what, 20th anniversary, let me just slap on something that I would have had 20 years ago. And I'm bringing the goatee back. And I've actually had like compliments on the goatee. They're like, it's not that bad, which is for me when I rock a goatee pretty damn good.
Because it's also got like a little bit of like fade to it. It's not sharp, right? 2004 would have been sharp, right?
Yeah,
sharp lines and
a little
everything.
bit sharper.
Yeah,
like the John B.
Yeah. They don't know.
That's to
From
America.
Outer Banks?
Yeah. John B. Wow, what a voice.
What a
voice
time.
of an angel. What a friggin' hairstyle. But yeah, I screwed up my shaving again. So like my barber had recently done the thing where I get a thinner beard, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to look like Dan Le Batard a little bit. Like I don't like this thin beard. I grow a big thick beard. Let me get the line a little higher. And so I had grown it out. I trimmed it down over the weekend, long holiday weekend. I was ready to go. And I started just instinctually shaving it back in the way that I used to. Stop showing that, guys. Stop.
This
Stop
is what
doing
the
that.
Kansas
Stop
City
doing
Chiefs
that.
groundskeeper should have just sent back to you.
Stop doing that. That's the worst photo. I've
So
ever
that's
taken.
from the video that I'm
man.
supposed to listen to audio only, right?
Thank you, guys.
That's unfair. Take that down, man. Come on, stop.
It does. I look like Bobby Boucher's dad. It's irrefutable. It's irrefutable.
What a weird, like, obscure reference.
I mean, but it's bang on. To the audience, you've known me for 20 years. I was but a boy when you first met me. Allow me to age with some level of grace. My body is going to change more than Dan's and Stu's over our time together. I was a teenager when I started on this show. I am now approaching 39 years old
You're now
and a
a father.
father. You have to allow me this physical transformation without making me feel too bad about it, because pushing 40, and it's not pushing 40 as it's so much dragging the 30s. That's
So
hard enough.
The only person that really hasn't changed is me.
Yes.
Yeah, you haven't changed
Both
whatsoever.
Exactly the same.
You haven't changed whatsoever, really. You've aged quite well, Roy. And you have the same. I outlined a bunch of excuses. You were like 20 when you started working on this show. Yeah, way to make me feel even worse about the
Mike,
situation.
you should have really gone
on
back
crack.
20 years and grown out your bob that you had back then, too.
I had quite an emo look.
Dude, the emo Mike pictures make me laugh every
The
single
one
time.
where I'm pointing.
Yeah, but it's also because like there's also that hint of sadness there behind every picture.
There was actually not a hint. There was legit sadness there.
Bobby, it's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Look,
That really hurts.
this is Roy from literally any moment in his life.
Yeah.
I feel like Roy, like when he was 12, he looked like that.
I was a grown man at 8 years
Yes,
old.
you've just been the same age your entire
He had a
life.
beard.
Man,
Come on.
you look really good, Roy.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
man, look at
So
that.
do you, man.
No, I
don't
don't.
feel bad for yourself,
I
dude.
do, and I don't. I'm wearing a Columbia shirt. That's how you know it's over. When you
Oh,
start
is
wearing
it
the
a PFG
Columbia,
though? Those are great shirts.
when you start,
Performance
they're
fishing gear.
they're so practical.
Oh,
and it's so hot down here. Like they're great shirts, but
It's
also
all Lehman wears.
Two Americas. I thought you meant another Columbia shirt. The one that I have.
that's the one that you,
Three
everybody
Americas.
has to have that in Miami.
3 Americas.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's cool, Dopey. Take the money. You and me could be partners, just like that Tiger Woods and his daddy.
Glad we're having fun.
All right, I'm done.
All right, it is a
No,
pretty good
man.
reference.
Okay, all right, let's move on.
No, let's move on.
Let's
man.
move
Come
on. Let's move on.
on.
Chimp Crazy. Has anyone watched Chimp Crazy?
I haven't watched it, but I read a little bit about it, and it seems like something that would be up the show's alley. So tell
my
us
God.
about it.
Okay, so if you've seen Tiger King, same guy that made Tiger King for Netflix has made Chimp Crazy docuseries for Max, for HBO, right? But here's the big thing. He said when he did Tiger King, like word got out around the like roadside zoo people that like this guy's a bad guy because he made all the people in Tiger King look bad. So
Did he make them look bad, or did they make themselves look
Look,
bad?
I'm telling you from the roadside zoo perspective.
We don't like saying roadside zoo. By
What
the
are
way.
they called?
What would you
Just a
prefer us
regular
call
zoo.
you?
No, it's not a regular zoo. It's not the San Diego Zoo.
a regular zoo.
It's not a San Diego Zoo. This is a roadside zoo.
More like a home zoo.
Home zoo. Okay.
Thank you.
We just have to be able to clarify that this is not like Ron McGill
No,
and the Miami
no,
Zoo.
no,
This is these
Home
people
zoo.
who are doing it basically.
It's like when you have like a basketball court at like a gym, but then you have like a home court in the back of your house. It's kind of like that.
Yes, but you let people come and play pickup basically.
Exactly.
So
Well, is it anything like that Matt Damon movie, We Bought a Zoo, or something like that?
those types of people, yes. That kind of people, right?
Wow.
So the guy has a bad reputation now among these zoo folk, right? So they wouldn't give him access. So he had to hire basically a dude to be a stand-in, a stunt double for him to act as the director. And the
Trojan
guy,
horse hit.
Oh, he Trojan horse the hell out of it. And the guy is a guy who went to jail for like smuggling animals into the country. So he's got like the street cred that all these people open up to him. And they're just all batshit crazy. Once again, you have to be insane. But the big thing, the reason I brought up Dan and his dog was the way these people treat these chimpanzees like they're just regular people and stuff. And I'm like, this is a wild animal. You can't just talk to it and expect it to be cool.
So
Domesticated dog is a wild animal.
what? No, it's domesticated.
No, I'm saying what
To
he
me,
just
it
said.
is.
Oh.
He got attacked by a wild animal. No, it's domesticated.
Is there a chimp attack in this series?
So there's a very famous chimp attack that happened. Like almost everyone remembers the story
I do
vaguely.
remember
the
it.
woman whose face got ripped off by a
Yes.
So
chimp.
that's actually how our show started its relationship with Ron McGill. They asked me to book a guest to talk about the chimp attack.
No
And,
way.
Yeah, I listened to Paul and Young Ron locally, and Ron McGill would occasionally be there. And I watched Sábado Gigante, and I remember Ron with the mustache. I'm like, I got the perfect guy.
with the mustache.
And that's how it started. The chimp attack was patient zero.
So watch this
Oh.
full circle. So first of all, almost every chimp that's been involved in a wild ass attack that went national or whatever, they're all famous. Like not for the attack. So that chimp was actually, if you guys remember an Old Navy ad from like 15 years ago with Morgan Fairchild and the chimp and they're on the beach or whatever. That's the chimp that ripped the face off.
Really?
I'm like, damn, this is a famous chimp that did this. And so the story goes, the woman's friend came over and the chimp had been aggressive before, but she didn't want to say anything because she thought that like they were going to take the chimp away. So her friend comes over and brings an Elmo doll because the chimp likes Elmo. And the chimp just goes berserk.
Tears it apart?
Tears her apart, right?
So wait, the woman whose face got ripped off wasn't the chimp's
not the owner.
It was
It's her
a friend.
Her friend was coming over.
And this chimp is famous. His name is Travis?
Travis the chimp. Travis the chimp. She calls 911. The cops show up. The cops know the chimp because he walks around town and stuff, and they've known, oh, hey, Travis, whatever. So the cop is in the car, and he's like, I've never seen Travis like this. And so Travis comes up to the car, and he says, I swear to God, he said, I got my gun out because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm thinking he's going to say Travis punches through the glass, and then like he shoots him. He said, this chimp ripped the door off. Ripped the door off. And so you hear the thing of like, she's still on the phone with 911 and you hear pop, 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 shoots him 4 times. You know what the chimp did? He walks back in the house. He took 4, looked at the guy, walked back in the house.
Oh my God, what is this, an episode of The Boys?
It was insane. I'm like, what the hell?
Travis is a real one.
Shout out to Travis. R.I.P. Travis.
I mean, he hooked up, man.
I assume he died after this?
He died inside the house, yes. But
Ripping the door off, though.
dude, I know chimps are strong. When they said he ripped the car door off the hinges, like I'm sorry, man. Like, how could anyone want that?
I was not familiar with your game.
For real, man. I'm like, damn. Planet of the Apes did not show us this. I'm just saying that right now.
Riding horses, but ripping off.
Did you see that tweet about the Starliner, which is like, all right, guys, we have 8 months to play the greatest joke in history on these 2 people returning back to Earth.
Yes. Everybody's got to buy a chimp outfit.
Did you see the latest development with the Boeing Starliner?
I think we talked about it last week that they're stuck up there till February.
Yeah. No. I'm
There's
talking
a new
about
one?
There's a new development.
What?
There's audio of it. There is this weird sonar sound that is emanating from the ship that they're picking up from the ISS. And there's audio of it. It's just pinging like actual sonar. No one knows what this noise is.
This wasn't the noise?
Jesus Christ.
You're up there for 6 months. I mean, at some point, you got to give it a shot, right?
If you search the internet, everyone's wondered, has anyone banged in space at a certain point?
Can you?
What club is that?
No one has ever documented this.
How do you get it up?
If you Google it, the word on the internet is no one's ever had sex in space.
But it's like, how? Like, I wonder.
Virgins.
Once you get it up, you can't get it down. That's the problem.
Is it like, does it work the same way? Like, I don't know.
Well, also, it's just like cleanup's got to be.
Oh, well, you got to bag it up.
I can understand how that could be a very messy proposition.
But then also, if you're up there, I don't think you would have packed condoms. Like, that would be a really ambitious move, right? It's like, all right, got my toothpaste, got my toothbrush. You never know.
A couple sleeves of Trojan.
Space baby.
Throw those gold sleeves in there. All right, we're good to go.
So there's a pinging noise?
Yeah. There's a pinging noise.
It's like an alien in the ship?
No one knows where it's coming from. I'm sure the internet's running wild.
I have a 40-second clip of an astronaut being asked if anyone's ever had sex in space.
Give it to me.
Do you think anyone has ever had sex in space? Good question. I think on the shuttle, I might be wrong here, but I think there may have been a married couple on the shuttle that have been in space. Not to say that they had sex whilst they were in space, but I think that there has been the opportunity, shall we say. So do you think anyone's ever had sex?
I mean, we can just stop it there. If a married couple's been in space, they're looking at each other like, hey, I mean,
Want to go into 10,000 Mile High?
You got to. You're in space. What else are you gonna do?
Got to chase after that condom as it floats away.
I mean, you almost have to do it for humanity. Like, this is a very important data point. Like, you could forget being married. You could look at anybody and say, we have to do this for our race.
That's his point.